welcome back. All right, in this video, we're going to talk about projects versus composition. And then we'll have a little focus on compositions and what we can do with them and how they're useful for us. All right, so first, project versus composition. All right, what exactly is a project and what makes it different from a composition? So a project is generally a file where all of your work is placed inside of. So when you open up a After Effects file, it contains all of the compositions, video files and audio files that make up the entire video project that you're working on. All right, so you can think of it as housing all of the files and compositions required to make the video. It's important to know that the files that you bring into the project are relative links to the actual files themselves. What I mean by this is when I bring in a video file, for example, into this project, the project doesn't save the entire file inside of the project file. It saves a link to where that file is located. So After Effects knows where that file is located in your computer, and it will point to that file that you have in here. So if that file is missing, then After Effects will not know how to have that file. So sometimes when you open up a new project, you might see just the colored borders, right? So I'll try to show you an example here. I'll close this project. All right, so I won't save it. And you know that project had the video, right? You can see it right there. So it's in the prep material and in video and right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the name so it thinks that it's not there, right? So I'll do that, and I'll open up the project again. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Eek. Yeah. But anyways, so this will help show the example. So here we are in the view, and this is the video, right? Here we can see it has this icon, which means it doesn't know where the file is. And that's because it lost the link to it, right? But we can set that link in by either replace or reload footage. We can just go to replace and with file, and we just direct it to that file. So that file was lesson 4, prep material, video, and this one right here, right? So we can select that, and now I'll change to this video, and we'll pretty much be back to however the video was before, right? We have it all here now. Everything's back to normal, and yeah, we gave it the new link, the new address of the file. All right, okay. Now let's move on to working with compositions. So first, we'll look at creating a new composition. There are multiple ways. One of the main ways is to click on composition up here and new composition. If you click that, you will get the composition menu here, and then you can make your new composition. All right, I'll cancel that. The other option is to do Control N. Control N, and we have our option here. So I'm just going to make this sample comp 1. All right. Here we can set the settings. So normally we do this one, HDV, HDTV 720, 29.97. So what this means is we're setting it at a resolution of 720, which is pretty common. I mean, the most common is 1080 because that has high resolution, so it looks better. 4K is the newest resolution that's out, and you know it's sublime and beautiful. But we'll work at 720 just because it doesn't require as much power in order to create one. So that's normally what we stick with. So you'll notice I kind of changed my things here. That's okay. And you can also custom set it here. So if you want your width to be different, you can set it here to whatever you want it to be. All right. And like I mentioned before, the 29.97, that is the frames per second. So frames we'll look at later, but generally think of frames as a picture. So videos are made of a bunch of pictures that roll together to make the video. So each picture is considered a frame. So in this, we're saying that we're going to have 30 frames in a second. All right. And over here we will have the duration and I guess the start time. But most important is the duration. How long will our video be? So here, this is the second, and then we have the minutes, and then the hours. Normally, for our compositions, because After Effects is more of an editing software, our compositions will normally be pretty short, depending on what we're trying to do. So 10 seconds is a pretty good number to have, since a lot of our animations will be relatively short. All right, but it is important to know how long your composition is, because that might affect how you make your animations. So that is new composition. All right, so now let's look at renaming compositions. So here we have the composition that I made, the sample comp 1. If we want to rename it, just click on it, press enter, and now we can rename it. So I'll name it renamed comp 1. All right, and that'd be important when you start creating specific compositions for your video. Okay. All right, so now we have this composition. All right, and here we have the timeline. And remember, we set this to be 10 seconds. Okay, but let's say I want this to be shorter than 10 seconds. How can I edit it? Well, when you're in the composition, if you press Control K, you will get this menu, which is the composition settings. So now you can set it to however you like. For example, 10 seconds I might feel is too long for this. So I can now set it to, let's say, 5 seconds. All right, so now I'm looking at 5 seconds down here. All right, and if you look down here, you'll see like the 10F, 20F, and then 1. This means it's at 1 second, and this is 10 frames, 20 frames, 1 minute. 10 frames, sorry, 1 second. 10 frames, 20 frames, 2 seconds. Okay, and then from then on, I can edit it however I like. All right, so that's how you can set your composition to different times if you need to go back and edit it. All right, so next, we're going to talk about using compositions with other compositions in order to make your video. All right, so here in this example, you can see that I already have other compositions that I use in here. For example, sober, we know it's this. It's just a box with the text sober. And we also have in Oakland, which is another composition on its own, but you can see that we use it in here. All right, so let's look at this pre-comp sample. Oh, sorry, this renamed comp. That's the one we worked on over here. Let's bring it here. All right, so this is our composition over here, right? So we can bring that in here. All right, so let's say I have this renamed comp. I can drag it right in here wherever I like. So let's just say I'll leave it here. All right, so I brought it in here, but we don't see it, and why is that? A lot of times it's because when you bring in a new layer, unless you specifically move it to a certain point in the timeline, it will just start in the beginning. So here it starts in the beginning. And if you remember, when I made that composition, it was only a 5-second composition. So, it'll only be here for the first 5 seconds of the video. So now if I go all the way to the beginning, we'll see the composition right here. Composition that I created before, right? Of the hello, like that, all right? And again, it's only 5 seconds, so here, it's gone. And we can move this anywhere though, so let's say move this here, and now this composition will be a part of this, just sitting here, right? And again, if I need to edit it, I can go back, select this, select my text tool, and then go, Soba, oh, let's do that, yeah. Soba, all right, you know what, yeah, no, yeah, okay. So, I'll move this here, and then go back, and look at that, changed. So, that is our look at projects versus compositions, and a bit of an in-depth look at compositions and how we can use them, and how we can make good use of compositions. All right.